You started? All right, cool. Welcome to my mom's garage, where I'm going to talk about deadlifting today. The main components that I've hopefully already talked about in my slideshow before this for deadlifting is maybe some workout apparel and a barbell if you're doing barbell deadlifts and weights. So we already have that. Right now I want to talk about how to grip the bar. You can start with a double overhand grip, so it'll be something like this where both hands are on top of the bar. Or what I prefer to do is what's called a mixed grip, where one hand's over and the other hand is under. The only aspect of this is that every set you want to rotate your grip and do an even number of sets, so every grip, either this way or this way, gets used the same number of times. Because over time what can happen is if you only do this grip, this shoulder muscles will develop differently than this shoulder's muscles because you have that weird grip happening. It's not symmetrical for each arm. So just making sure if you choose a mixed grip to always switch it, and you're going to find that one grip is more comfortable than another grip, and that just has to do with whatever hand you're dominant with is more comfortable gripping the bar in that way. For me, this grip is more comfortable for me, having my left hand on top and bottom hand, or my right hand on the bottom, because I played years of hockey, and that's how you hold a hockey stick. So doing this grip, having it the reverse, is something I train slightly more. So I do my warm-up sets with this grip, and then when I'm doing my working sets, I alternate to get that symmetry. So once you have your grip sort of chosen, and this is all going to be trial and error, you can start with the double overhand grip, and while you're doing that, maybe the bar is starting to roll out of your hands because your grip's not as strong. I would suggest switching to a mixed grip so that you have more grip control. The next thing after sort of deciding how to grip the bar is your stance. This is going to be really important because your feet into the ground is what's going to give you all of your power to lift the bar up off of the ground. So your stance should be strong. You don't want to stand so close together that you feel wobbly, and you don't necessarily want to stand super far apart either, because you're going to have to move your arms past your hips and your knees. So I stand about shoulder width apart. I know some people do a little bit narrower, some people do a little bit wider, but kind of what's comfortable where you feel strong standing. And you want to stand in the middle of the bar. Most bars have a middle grip section and then a break before the more grip section starts. That grip section is called the knurling. And you kind of want to just judge, make sure you're in the middle, make sure your legs are symmetrical on each side to the knurling so that you're not over to one side and then you're lopsided when you're bringing the bar up. So stand in the middle, legs a comfortable distance apart, and when you bend down, we're going to bend down and we're going to touch the bar. We want to make sure that as we stand up, our legs are not rolling over our legs. So if I grab too narrow and I try and pick this up, my hands are on my legs, and that's very uncomfortable, especially coming down. I've got to pass my fingers over my knees, and we don't want to do that. So you want to make sure for a standard deadlift that your arms are gripped outside of your leg stance so that your fingers clear your legs when you're bringing the bar up. So now we're ready to get started. We kind of know our stance, where we should be on the bar. We're ready for whatever grip we want to use. And we want to put our hands on the bar in a symmetrical place so that we're not shifted and grabbing one side too far over. Because if we're too far over on one side, we're going to tip. So again, using the markings on the bar, make sure that you're about in a symmetrical place. So for me, I'm about an inch away from this little marking and about an inch away from the other marking on the other side, on this side. And then when I'm getting ready to deadlift, I want to bring my butt down and I bring the bar really close to my shins. I want the bar against my shins. The further the bar is away from you, the harder it is to pick it up because you're putting more pressure on your lower back and you're starting to round your back, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So we want that bar as close to our legs as possible so that we're not away from our body and creating a lever. We want everything in like a nice smooth line, as close as possible this way in front of me. So I grab the bar, get prepped, bend down, and now this is where posture is going to come to be super important. You want your back straight, or maybe even a little arched, so your butt's kind of sticking out. What you don't want is to be rounded over like you've got a hunchback. Because when your back's rounded over, all your vertebrae are spaced out into a curve, and when you put weight on that, it's going to cause that arch to arch even more, and you're going to hurt yourself. So straight, kind of flexing our back, sticking our butt out a little bit to help that arch, and we grab the bar, and keeping our butt down and our chest up and proud, we stand up. And what's going to happen is the bar is going to kind of drag across your shins. I'm not sure if you can see a little scrape mark on there. That's going to happen, and it's going to come up your legs, just like this. And you stand all the way up, straight and proud, and then reverse the process all the way back down. What you don't want to do is at the very top, just collapse. I've seen a lot of people at the gym that are lifting weight too heavy for them. They pick it up, and then they just like fall down. And you don't want that. You want to be in control of the bar the whole time. If you're not in control, when you're coming down, you're more likely to strain something. Now I'm out of breath. The good thing I'm using, mailman just drove by in case you were wondering what that noise was. I'm using bumper plates. What's great about deadlifting with bumper plates is that I can pick the bar up and let go. That was really loud, but everything's safe. These plates, bumper plates, are meant to bump. They're meant to be dropped. So everything's still fine. You heard the bar rattling a little bit, but everything's fine. That's the downfall with regular iron plates, is you can't drop those. Well, you can drop them, but the plates might break or you might ruin the floor that you're on. I'm on my mom's nice garage floor, which is a little dirty, but because I dropped the plates and they're bumper plates, the floor is fine. So you want to lift the bar under control, keeping your butt down and your chest up, and you want to come back down, reversing that motion, nice and in control. And now if you're going to do multiple reps, which most of us should be doing, we lift, we come down in control, tap the ground, come back up. Down, tap, up. Down, tap, up. Nice and easy, nice and control. And now, because I'm doing it, I'm under control, you can't even hear the plates touching the ground. Because I'm not coming down with force, and I'm not falling with it. You want to be under control the whole time. I think that about covers it. I'm going to keep warming up, keep adding some weight. Hopefully see me soon with a little bit more weight and for some more tips.